Hello everyone. Today, we will tell you some inspiring stories that will keep you going for the rest of your life. In our selection, you'll see gifted people with disabilities who were not afraid of challenges and decided to follow their dreams. They didn't have much chance to succeed, but they were so determined that nothing could stop them. Let's get it on. Qian Hongyan. The life of a 4-year-old girl from a poor Chinese village was changed forever when she was hit by a truck in the year 2000. The doctors told Qian's parents that the chances of survival were slim. The girl lost not only her lower limbs, but also part of her body. Unable to purchase a wheelchair, Qian's grandfather created an unusual mobility device for her from an old basketball. Soon, Qian took up swimming, although before that she didn't even know how to stay afloat. Now, she dreams of making enough money to fully provide for her caring parents. She came close to her goal in 2016 when she competed at the Paralympic Games and came in 9th.
Getting away very quickly in lane.
The girl doesn't stop training and wants to win a gold medal at the upcoming international competitions in Tokyo. Jessica Cox. When a girl without arms was born in 1983 in Arizona, her parents were ready to take extra care of their daughter until old age. They couldn't even imagine that Jessica Cox, who lost her limbs due to a birth defect, could become a certified pilot, scuba diver, surfer, and proudly sport a Taekwondo black belt. It's hard to believe, but the girl learned to use her legs the way that we use our hands, and today she inspires thousands of people around the world. After 3 years of training on a sports plane, Jessica became the first armless girl in aviation history to receive an official flight school license. Needless to say, she drives a car freely without any modifications and doesn't feel flawed at all. Jessica can type up to 25 words per minute on the keyboard as well. No wonder that Jessica is often invited as a speaker and encourages others to develop their own abilities. Alex Zanardi. Someday, there's going to be an amazing film dedicated to the life of this brave man. Alex Zanardi was born in 1996 in Italy, and since childhood, he's been fond of fast driving. When he was only 13, he built his first racing kart from the wheels of a dustbin and rusty pipes. In the 90s, the Italian became a recognized racer. He had 15 winning streaks in the kart competitions, and even came in 6th in the Formula 1 Grand Prix. Unfortunately, Zanardi's dreams were not destined to come true. In 2001, he got into a serious accident and lost both legs, but that couldn't keep the man from his passion for racing. In a couple of years, he created custom prostheses, which allowed him to compete in special cars. However, his main victories lied ahead. After the amputation, Zanardi became interested in paracycling. In total, he managed to win 2 silver and 4 gold medals at the 2012 and 2016 Paralympic Games.
Motorsport should be my specialty, not so much hand cycling, but when I am now...
In 2020, at one of the bike races, he got into an accident again. We can only wish the rider a fast recovery and new stunning victories. Matthew Whittaker. Matthew Whittaker plays piano and drums. Has been performing around the world since the age of 11, and he's also composing music. Matthew's phenomenal talent impressed scientists so much that now his musical gift is being studied to understand how blind pianists can see music. But Matthew didn't always have such a bright future ahead of him. He was born prematurely and had to go through 11 eye surgeries, but his eyesight unfortunately could not be restored. Although parents noticed their son's love for sounds and rhythm from an early age, they couldn't find a worthy teacher for him for a long time. According to Matthew's father, most of them simply didn't know how to teach a blind 3-year-old how to play the piano. Even back then, the boy was able to accurately play a song after hearing it only once. Perhaps someday, Matthew will help scientists understand the secret of his brain and unravel the secret of a perfect pitch. Victoria Modesta. British singer and model Victoria Modesta is famous for her voice, stylish costumes, and unique image. She also has no left leg. Victoria had difficulties in birth that left her leg and hip dislocated. The girl lived with the disease for 19 years, after which she bravely decided to have her leg amputated and thus symbolically get rid of her old life. After a difficult recovery, Victoria's life has changed. She was able to achieve success as a musician and model of an alternative genre.
The smoke is like me almost putting out pheromones into the atmosphere and kind of like blowing the smoke.
More than 100,000 people are following her on Instagram, and the music videos and interviews of the girl gather millions of views. With her gorgeous outfits and futuristic prosthetic designs, the singer proved that you can pursue a pop star career even as a disabled person. Ralph Braun. The life of people with impaired mobility is hard, but stairs, climbs, public transport, and any movement we're used to are the real hell for them. Ralph Braun faced the same problem when in 1947 he was diagnosed with muscular dystrophy and he was unable to walk on his own. The 7-year-old kid and his parents didn't give up, but began to manufacture affordable mobile vehicles. In 1960, Ralph and his father invented the world's first motorized scooter for people with disabilities. The young man decided to mass-produce them to make life easier for other people with impaired mobility. In 1966, Ralph designed the first wheelchair-accessible car. From that moment on, people no longer needed to ask others for help in order to get into the car. Over time, the production of wheelchair-friendly vans became Ralph's main brainchild and brought him worldwide recognition. Gwen Lee. Strong willpower can work wonders. A good example of such a person is Gwen Lee. She was born with osteogenesis imperfecta, a rare genetic disorder that causes complications in the development of the bones and limbs. Despite her condition, Gwen mastered the violin, learned to sing, and was recognized as one of the best folk artists in the United States. It's hard to believe that she can sometimes play better than many musicians without disabilities. Today, Gwen gives concerts, performs at famous radio shows, and also invented her own unique way of playing the violin like the cello.
What you're doing, moral compass it is spinning, an identity unhinged, where to turn, where to turn.
For her, art is a means of overcoming physical limitations, and she dreams that each impaired person would have the opportunity to perform on stage. Juan Pablo Kulasso. This guy managed to turn his physical disabilities into an obvious benefit for difficult research. Juan Pablo Kulasso was born blind and has never seen the world around him as we know it. Nevertheless, he can identify thousands of bird sounds, which open the way for him to ornithology. We've all heard the stories about the acute hearing of visually impaired people, but according to scientists, Kulasso's abilities have nothing to do with his blindness. He has a special brain structure and rare skills that he developed when he was a kid. His unique abilities were very useful to scientists. It can be difficult to see small birds, and not every specialist can identify their sounds. Today, Kulasso makes good use of his gift and refuses to admit that he's a flawed person. He regularly attends TV shows and even took part in the Antarctic expedition. Alexander Avdavich. It's not enough to simply accept that people with disabilities can be creators or athletes. They can work and be useful to society in any other field, although they face many obstacles on their way. A small team from Belarus, who opened the first inclusive coffee shop in Minsk, knows this all too well. This cafe is in every sense accessible to people with disabilities and people with impaired mobility. The creator of the project is a well-known activist and wheelchair user, Alexander Avdavich. A girl with congenital limb disorder works as a barista, and a guy with Down syndrome acts as the director and PR manager. The coffee shop is designed so that both ordinary visitors and people with disabilities may feel comfortable here. The company's goal is to give such a category of citizens a meaningful job, where they could feel useful and talk to other people. No wonder they chose to open the cafe in the center of the city. The inclusive coffee shop attracts up to 50 visitors a day. In the future, the team plans to expand the business by creating similar points of attraction throughout the country. But for now, you can drop by and just enjoy a cup of aromatic coffee. Evelyn Glennie is a talented percussionist and also an honorary member of the Order of the British Empire, composer, and successful motivational speaker. Oh, and we forgot to mention, Evelyn lost her hearing when she was 12 years old. Back then, her parents thought that music and deafness didn't go well together. But the girl didn't give up and continued to do what she loved. She's been awarded 15 honorary doctorates from universities, has many awards, and goes on tours every year in all the major cities of the Northern Hemisphere. In 2012, Evelyn co-created the soundtrack to the opening ceremony of the London 2012 Olympic Games. She also regularly creates music for famous British performers and easily communicates with others by lip reading. Evelyn claims that she also hears music, but not like others. She feels it in almost every part of her body. No wonder she plays barefoot during all of her concerts. Liam Mcmulkin. Today, sign language exists in almost every country in the world. It helps people with disabilities to travel, communicate with foreigners, and understand each other better. But a deaf student from the University of Dundee, Liam Mcmulkin, discovered a terrible truth. In British Sign Language, there are no scientific terms that would allow him to study his beloved chemistry. He didn't give up his passion, though, and decided to make up signs for chemicals and confusing definitions. Today, this communication system is used throughout the UK, allowing deaf and dumb students to participate in research or work in labs. Liam's contribution to science is invaluable. He might have opened the way for thousands of qualified specialists who will make many discoveries in the field of chemistry. Ethan Feinschreiber. People with autism are still sometimes misunderstood by society. Ethan Feinschreiber couldn't make friends for a long time, trying to avoid contact with peers. When he was 3 years old, he was diagnosed with an autistic disorder, after which he quickly realized that he was different from the people around him. At the age of 7, Ethan's mother decided to let him train in the local martial arts school, which was part of the American Taekwondo Association. The boy began to show excellent results, made friends, and even began to talk to kids from school. Soon, Ethan's coach told his mother about his son's achievements, and they decided he would participate in national competitions. The little fighter kept on winning, making friends even with his rivals along the way. Eventually, he made his way to international competitions and won the world title. To date, Ethan has not let his condition drag him down. He's defended the title of champion 14 times, has a blog, and participates in many teen shows. Hold on a second. Do you want to see some crazy stories from real life? Nothing dull, only action, only adventures, chases and fights, love confessions and sudden betrayals. Don't believe us? Well, follow the link and see for yourselves. Our animation channel Private Diary reveals the deepest secrets. Don't forget to subscribe.